get some views. I'm just joking. How is everybody? Happy Monday. Let me go get my coat. Hold on 1 second. We're coming. We're coming. Gotta get my shoes. We're almost ready, Jinx. We are almost ready. All right. I'm going to put the list on right here. Got our shoes on. I got my water. This is my husband now, Jinko. Let's go, buddy. All right. It's going to take me a minute, but we're just going to make it easy because I'm streaming this video and I can't go back and forth. So anyway, this is what we are doing 19 years later after we got married. Yes, on August 25th, 2006. And I'm just reminded of this week. And I think it's just there's a lot of energies that are around. And it's making me think back to that time. And I have a lot of placements in my chart. You can read that in the description if you choose to, about why this week, I guess, is a little not challenging for me, because like one of the first things that I thought of this week when I woke up this morning and I got ready for work, one of my friends was like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I could be doing better. I'm procrastinating like all of us. I'm a teacher and I get on to my students about procrastinating. And then here I am procrastinating. But guess what? We always get it done." But I used to not procrastinate like that. And since 2020, I just started procrastinating and getting into some bad habits, which I'm trying to stop. One good thing that came out of 2020 is I don't drink anymore. I mean, I used to be able to throw them back 6, 8 at a time during the week and then get up and teach a boot camp class. Yeah. And come on. And now I just don't want to get up. I got into some bad habits of doing that. So we are trying to do better with our routines. And one of the things that I need to be doing better about my routines is to make more time for, telling people that I care about them. And one of the things I need to make time for is to continue to self-care. One of the things that got me in trouble when I used to live that extreme life, all fitness, and then I'd come back and do the party thing, right? I realized recently through the study of astrology, people think astrology is woo-woo and it doesn't, ring true. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you had the placements that I have, and you're looking at some of these astrological transits, like, astrology is real, right? And all that bunch of partying and stuff that I used to do, I don't want to do it anymore. I stopped wanting to do it when I started studying astrology. So guess what? However I quit partying like that, then good for me. Good for me. And the one thing I love about astrology, let me leave that light on so you guys can see, is the fact that, like, it shows you things about yourself that you probably need to work on, or some challenges that you have, right? Ooh. Yeah, we're walking Jinko tonight. That's our exercise. We've been going at it, hadn't we, buddy? Hadn't we, buddy? This is our little oasis. I told Jinko he was going to have some cat TV. It looks a lot better than it did. It don't look, Virgo perfect like, I want it to, but it looks a lot better than it did. So this is his little perch right here. And I told him he gets to have cat TV. So he gets to see bunnies that come in here. He gets to see the hummingbirds that come up here. He just really likes to sit out here. So yeah, this is my boyfriend, folks. So 19 years ago, I got married, and then 6 years ago, I got this little fella who thinks he is my boyfriend because he hates other people. He is very protective of me. Um, so I was going to do this on a walk, but I got distracted. Like that's what usually happens whenever I start making content. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to make lives and see what happens. I think people like to see people's authenticity. I know I like to see people's authenticity. I like to see people's mistakes. So why would I think that nobody would want to see mine? But yeah, I got married 19 years ago, and I've been thinking about, that today. And I usually don't think about it, right? Because, you know, my marriage didn't work out. And it wasn't just his fault, it was my fault too. But 6 months, that's all I lasted was 6 months. Um, but what did happen is after that, we ended up getting back together. And I thought that I was going to be able to have my happy ending. And 6 months later, he died in a car accident. And that was 13 years ago. And the day after he died, I went to work because I had an exam to grade, and I knew that nobody was going to be able to grade it like me. And it meant something to those students to show it to me, and it meant something to me to see it. But what happened was, I think it created some poor patterns of just being up in front of the camera and being up in front of people and having to teach those classes. And so, yeah, it gives you energy and stuff, especially when you're not having a good day sometimes, right? But it taught me like, oh, well, my feelings don't matter. And I got to project um, regardless of what happened. And so I was able to be that entertainer. I was able to be that fitness instructor. But behind the scenes, that's not who I was. I was an alcoholic. Well, I'm not gonna say an alcoholic. I had an alcohol problem, that's for sure. Anybody can drink 6 to 8 beers at a time, daily, and then go to work and teach those fitness classes. That's a double life. And so, when I lost that fitness business, it was like probably harder than it was when I lost my husband. It definitely was harder than it was to see my marriage not working out. I mean, but I tell you one good thing is that I learned from an early age that, my parents still get along, even though they're divorced, and they divorced when I was 5 years old. And I saw some shit, right? And then that makes you wonder, well, maybe that's why my marriage didn't work out, because that's what I saw, right? But my parents love each other more now than they ever have. And my mom went over and gave my stepmom flowers for her birthday yesterday and says, "You're my favorite wife-in-law," right? Like, my family gets along, and they were able to heal a lot of things, a lot of things. And so that's what I learned, right? That I was going to take this person back as much as, he had hurt me, as much as I probably hurt him more than me. When in doubt, blame others. But nonetheless, I didn't learn the lesson, right? I didn't learn the lesson because when he died, I just got really bad, real bad. And I thought that maybe I'd do all those fitness competitions and that would help me, right? That would make it go away. And all it did was just push it down, push it down, push it down, and and then created even more of a bad pattern where I was like, well, I have to look like this in order to be accepted as a trainer, as a fitness instructor. I have to look like this in order to have self-worth or a boyfriend. So I had gotten in a bad pattern with that. And so in 2020, when, I lost the personal training business, that was harder than me losing my husband. It really was. And so I was like, well, you know what? I am so thankful for 2020, and I hated it at the time. And let me tell you, 2020 was the best thing that ever happened to me because through that experience, I started saving America. No, we are we are not jumping the fence. No, we are not jumping the fence. I was going to save America. I ran for state house. I knew I was probably going to lose before I even got out the gate, but you know what? It helped me sober up because through saving America, I was able to save myself. And then when I lost the election, then I was lost. I was like, okay, well, what do I have to do now? And so I spent 2023 healing my inner child, wearing some cat ears because guess what? I'm the Leo rising. And I probably had some challenging experiences growing up in my childhood where I maybe didn't get to have fun. So I have fun at 45 years old wearing cat ears. And through that, I started studying astrology. And that's when I really started healing myself. So no longer did I, you know, drink and use drugs and party on the weekend. I started using that to help myself. I started looking at where the moon transited over my chart. And your moon is important because your moon is how you feel things, right? So my moon is in my career. So I feel my career. I'm passionate about my career. I also have Venus there in Taurus. So my Venus is happy right now. She loves being in Libra. And that means with the Venus and a moon in your 10th house of career, that means that I will always love what I do. That's why it's so hard for um, me to finally step away from the fitness business. And my last class will be this Thursday at the gym. And I'm very grateful that the next day I get to say goodbye to some more people at the other gym I used to work for. And in 2020, the one thing that sucked is that the government told me that, oh, I was done. I was done with my personal training business in 2020. And I was like, no, 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 we're going to end on my terms. And so I'm ending on my terms this week. And it feels good. And I'm so grateful for the place that I work now that softened that experience because they got to give me the goodbye that I didn't get at my 20-year employment gym. And so I'm very grateful for that. I get some experiences that most people never get. And I also had some hard experiences that most people never get either. I had after Scott died, one bad thing that I did was get this hideous tattoo on the back of my neck. And I'm getting it. I've had one treatment and I'm getting another treatment Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Anyway, on the back of my neck for the second one. It's terrible. It hurts, right? And And I used to joke and say, well, it was the North Node. All right. My North Node is in Libra, which is where the moon is, right? So the North Node is what you're, the zodiac you're stepping into, right? And so I'm here to learn how to have relationships. I'm here to learn how to have balance. I'm here to do what? I don't even know how to have a relationship with anybody. Again, I was only married for 6 months. But you know why I never had those good relationships? Because I didn't know how to have a good relationship with myself. Anybody who loves themselves doesn't treat themselves as poorly as I did. Abuse themselves with exercise, drink like that, don't sleep, extreme behavior. So I'm here to have balance. And what keeps me balanced is walking my cat. Yes. No, you want to go back out again? Hmm? Is that what you want to do? Hmm? Okay. Such a sucker. Such a sucker. Just sucker. So this Leo rising has a Leo cat, and he is a Scorpio, and the opposite sign of uh, Scorpio is Taurus. I have a lot of Taurus in my chart. So Taurus and Scorpio get along. Aries and Scorpio get along because that is my sister sign. We both rule Mars, which means action. Nope. Come on. What are we doing? So astrology has definitely helped me. And I'm so excited to be closing out this person that I used to be for 30 years. And, you know, thinking about maybe where I could be had, my husband lived. And I think about that. And like, if I had started studying astrology sooner, maybe I would have been able to help him still be here because I would have been a healed person, right? No, we're not going all the way over there. This is little walk, little walks, little walk. No, we're not going to Mary Lou's house. It is too late. Come on, we're going back in the house. I'm sorry. I know he's so upset. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Saturdays, folks. Saturdays is every day. Every day he wants us to walk. But we've been doing free range walks lately. Come here. We've been doing free range walks. So he hasn't been on a leash for a while, but you couldn't tell. He did a good job. He did a good job. Here. Wait. No, couldn't see him doing a good job on his wall. Oh. You being nice. You be nice. We're not eating right now. I'm sorry. We're not eating right now. So, going back to the tattoo. Yes, I have attention deficit disorder. Don't we all? Look at us. We're on the damn phone all the time. We got attention deficit disorder. Don't act like you don't. So, what I did do, one of the good things that I did after he passed, which I still have, this was his wedding band. I don't know if you guys can see it. Now, it had 2 triangles in it, and then it kind of wrapped around. I had this made for him, but I couldn't afford the stones to go in it. And I said, well, after we're married for some time, I'll put the stones in it. Well, we never got to that point, right? So when he passed, I had it resized, and it did have 2 topaz in there because he had the bluest eyes. They're so pretty. And I was working out one day at this gym that I'm leaving last year, I think. And I went to go do a burpee, and I know when that stone popped out, and I just kept going, right? And then after the class is over, it's worth, you're not gonna be able to find a stone like that. So anyway, I had an amethyst put in there, and I had it cleaned up real good. And Anyway, look, it matches my outfit today. And then I got this piece last year. And it's an atomic amethyst. And I got that to there was something going on astrologically. I forgot what it was. I don't remember. Anyway, or his birthday. Nonetheless, I got a piece like this because I was like, I just felt like I needed to have that on me sometimes. And so I just decided to wear it today. And one of the cards that I drew today for myself was the third eye. And it told me that I needed to wear something purple today. And so I did wear something purple today. And even though, my experience 19 years ago, it didn't work out, I still have happy memories. And he's still with me always. That's the last picture that he did. And then this is what we had at Solaris on the tables. Pull it out. And anyway, it was the Mr. and Miss Smith after party. Anyway, that's where we like to hang out because they had our kind of music. And he was such an amazing artist. Y'all get to see my house. Sorry. I'm not showing you that one. I'll show you this one. So he really was kind of fascinated with like Day of the Dead, But I have this in the guest room. And he did her, Audrey Hepburn, and then he painted her up like that. He did the same thing for Madonna, and then he tore it up. And now, you know what? I'm glad he tore it up because that's an evil ass fucking bitch, man. Sorry, excuse my language. But this was the last painting that he did. And he gave that to me for my birthday 3 weeks before he passed away. And up there at the top, I have like some rainbow film. And so around his birthday, right, I have a rainbow that cast over here on the painting around his birthday, which is Cancerian season, right? And then because where the sun comes up, it comes up right over there. And then at night, it does the same thing over there on that side at 7 o'clock. And guess what? 7 is a Libra number. Relationships. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the one I was going to show you. And then he drew that. And I found it one day. I'd never had it up. I just never I never put a frame around it. And a good frame, right? A good frame. And so last year I painted the frame and I put the planets that represented our relationship and what he was to me. And so when I held that print, I remember holding it and because he drew it when we were apart. And when I held it, I could feel him saying, this is how I see you. And so I have it in my office where you can see me in my office. Yeah. So I usually sit behind here. Everybody gets to see my stuff. This is how the magic happens. It looks better than it actually is. But this is a good week with Venus being in all these good aspects to be doing things that you love. right? What is that? Is it spending time with your family? Is it playing an instrument? Is it moving your body because you're happy that you feel good in it? Is it spending time with your pets? I talked to a friend of mine and she goes, I'm going to stay with this person just because, I don't know if there's anything better else out there. And I was like, well, what about me? Like, my person died, 13 years ago. And, it just got kind of a little quiet there. And I was like, but I have hope, right? You have to have hope that you will find love again. But guess what? I was looking for love in all the wrong places because I could have it right here. Jinx. You like to be on the camera. I know you do. But I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Who's going to find there forever, whatever? And I ain't saying if you did at a bar, no one. At a club when you're also intoxicated, no one. So if you live in your gifts, you're going to find your person, right? But until that day happens, you got to find the person within yourself. Marry yourself. You don't have to find that significant other in somebody else. Find that significant other in yourself. Until that magic person comes. And so you live in your gifts. Like today, I did so many things of love and beauty for myself. And I treated myself with love and kindness and balance. And I ate food and I drank water and I went to my appointments and I got a lot of stuff done. Like now it's balance, right? I got to play my sound bowls tonight for some people. That was balance. And that helped balance me. So just stop looking for all the things that are outside of you and look for the things that are inside of you. And I wish that I had found astrology so much longer ago because I feel like he would still be here. I could see that in our charts, but I also can see that like that was supposed to be my lesson, a karmic lesson that I didn't learn. So I had to take even longer of a route to get here. But guess what? I have tons of experience from it. Tons of stories to tell about what not to do so you don't end up like me at 47 years old, finding yourself and going through whatever it is, this dark night of the soul to say, okay, well, this is who I'm going to be now. All right. Leaving the gym life behind, stepping into the woods, doing the sound bowls, doing the yoga and the slow movements. That wasn't me before. Right. But that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I tell you what, folks, it feels a lot better to be a Libra and a Taurus than it does to be an Aries because this Aries is tired and burned out and she's going to go to bed. So thank you for listening. And anyway, yeah, I got married 19 years ago. And if you want to hear the full story, I did ramble quite a long time, but I did keep it under 30 minutes and I'm excited about that. So the last thing I will leave you with is get you a vision board, folks. I have two, one downstairs and one upstairs. And I know that it's tacky, but guess what? I live alone, so I do what I want to. And this downstairs is a playground. I got a yoga trapeze up there. I got this big bean bag, the peep, okay? And if Scott was still alive, he would love all of this. And he'd be pissed because I took the big closet. And he had to have the small closet. So we would have definitely fought over closet space. Yes. But anyway, there'll be more magic person out there. There's another magic person just as magical as my Scott. And I know that he wouldn't want me to be alone for eternity. But I had a lot of work to do in order to bring somebody else in. So again, thank you for listening. And if you would like an astrological chart reading, hit me up. I will be more than happy to show you how to interpret your own birth chart, figure out what your rising sign is and what your moon sign is and all this other stuff, because we're all the signs, but how we show up is a unique expression. And it has totally transformed my life and able to heal parts of myself that I never thought existed. I wouldn't have done this video a year ago. I wouldn't have done this video 6 months ago, right? And the more work you do, the lighter you get, and the more you are able to speak your truth. Right. And it's uncomfortable to speak your truth sometimes, especially when it involves emotions and things that are mentally challenging, because those are uncomfortable for a lot of people. Not everybody can deal with their emotions well, folks. I'm a prime example, but I do know how to deal with my emotions well now. And this is a supplement, okay? We're not drinking alcohol anymore. Well, I might have a beer or two, but I'm not drinking, you know, eight or six or eight. So, anyway, y'all have a good night, and thank you so much for watching. And let me know if you'd like a birth chart reading. I would love to help you out. Thanks. Bye bye.